It's a mushroom kind of day. Mushrooms everywhere. Mushrooms here, mushrooms there. Mushrooms over here, and here too, blackberries. We got a whole bunch of mushrooms. These are reishis, the ones I just showed you. Now they're done simmering. I simmered them for 2.5 hours. I'm getting a glove. You can see them. Beautiful little reishi mushrooms. These are red reishis, and there's a few golden in there. All from our yard. So basically, what I do with these, boil them up like that, and after about 2 to 3 hours, you take them out. You then chop them up in a blender, and you take all of that stuff and you lay it out on a dehydrator. So right here I've got this dehydrator, and this is solid. Nails are dirty, I've been collecting mushrooms. And then you just pour it in here and you set it up, and this all dries up. So it dries out all the water, and in case it leaks or something, I have another type of sheet thing under here. So then once it's dry, you can make a powder out of it. Some people will re-cook it. They'll re-cook that powder. You can. The more you do that, the more it extracts things out of it. So I might do it a second time. So after you do that, you dry it out, then you cook it again. And then once you've done that, you strain it, and then you dry it one last time. And then once you've done that, you can then create your own reishi powder. And your finished product would be something like one of these powders that I have in here. This brand. But this brand is mycelium. It's not the actual fruiting body. So it says that. Mushroom mycelium. But what I'm doing, let's see if I can open this with one hand. Yep. So this is the color. Something like that. So you end up with this powder. And the good thing is the fruiting body is a lot more potent than just the mycelium. So that's what I'm doing, and plus it's from my yard, which is pretty neat. And then we've been taste testing a lot of mushrooms. The ones I love the most are chanterelles. These are my tried and true. I love chanterelles. I hunt them every year or harvest them every year, go foraging. They are stinking delicious, and they're really easy to identify. They do not have gills like these look like, but they're not. They're not actual gills. And then you see that where they meet the stem, there's no line, there's no like, you know what I mean? Like it's continuous. So yeah, these are all chanterelles, and they all grow in the same place every year. So I love collecting. You can see I got a lot of those this year. This is what's called a platterful mushroom. We've eaten these before. They're that color. They're neat. This one, I cannot remember. I think this is some kind of edible. I don't remember. Some of these, we looked them up and put them over here because they're edible. And then this one is cool. It's like related to the porcini. Don't remember the name. A lot of these are all boletes, like a lot of boletes right now. These are russulas. They're red russulas. But the thing about red russulas is that they'll say, you know, you can taste and see if they're spicy. So in other words, you don't eat them, you just nibble on it, put a little bit on your tongue, and if it makes your tongue feel spicy like a red chili, then it's inedible. But the other thing about them is you have to be 100% you have a red russula. Like what distinguishes them is they're super chalky. I mean, you press on it just snaps. So that's how I know that's what these are. There's other ways to test it too. And so you just have to be 100% sure that you have a russula, and then you can taste test and whatever. Because some of the reds, like I taste tested this one, that's my little bite mark, and it was not spicy at all. So there's another variety of red out there that you can. I've heard people say that you can eat, and we have eaten them before, but this is not something for a beginner. mushroom hunter. So right now we're just kind of trying to debate whether we're going to keep these or not. I mean, at the end of the day, it really just matters if we have so many other mushrooms, is it really worth it, you know? And that's kind of where you would make that call. This in here is, I can't remember, some kind of like a wrinkly bolete, I think is what it's called. This one was funny. It looks black, but when we first found it, it was like a white with little black scales all over. It's called the Old Man of the Woods. It's a really cool mushroom. And then this one was a guild bolete, which is actually pretty tasty. This one right here, I don't remember the name, but it's related to a porcini, and man, is that good. That and that, they are delicious. So again, this is not for a beginner. This is not something you just go out and do. We've taken, I wouldn't say courses, but we've gone out with mushroom hunters. We've been doing this for a very, 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 very long time. And although sometimes we're kind of unsure, if we're ever unsure, we don't eat it. We just toss it out. We go to somebody who knows really, really well, like what kind of mushrooms you can eat, what's here in the area. And that's that. So no need to be fearful, but definitely the reishis are like kind of what started this whole thing today. And then we went out and realized there was a whole bunch of others ready. But this reishi is so great. It's like a medicinal mushroom. It helps you kind of calm down if you have anxiety, but also it helps with like sleep. So it does promote sleep. Now I did harvest reishis a while ago before, and they were from, I think, Kentucky, and I live in Florida right now, close to Alabama. And I kind of want to show you guys a little bit of what they actually look like outside of the water. They're really cute. I mean, they're very distinct. Like, you really cannot misidentify a reishi. So, there you go. You know, the typical reishi, that's what he looks like. But what's great about him is that when I made this last year, or no, it wasn't last year, it was a couple years ago, and what I did was I basically boiled it once like that, then boiled it twice. And the second time I drank what's called the tea of it, or you can make it and make a broth out of it. So whichever one you prefer, but I drank it and it knocked me out. Like I would literally sleep so well. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys. These are my favorites, chanterelles. Just give you another close look at them so you can kind of see what they're supposed to look like. But right now they are everywhere, and you can see they're all different kind of shapes and sizes. That's not what you identify them by. Mostly it's just, you can see the color. That's what, you know, draws you to them. But then you really have to just make sure that it has no actual gills and it's one continuous thing. So yeah, cool mushrooms.